Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club Calcutta Races Christmas meeting, third day, Saturday, 21st December 2024 race preview. The first race of the afternoon is the Hong Kong Jockey Club Cup for 2-year-old horses only. Two runners taking part. There is only one runner which has got experience, which is Victoria Cross, which is by multitude out of Victoria Falls. The start we are looking at is from race number 32, where Victoria Cross was racing in front as they entered the last 200 meters, then came under pressure from Calcutta, and Victoria Cross eventually held on for second spot. The mount of Suraj Naidu is Victoria Cross. The other runner is Morano, who's by Dali out of Harmonica. The mount of A Sandesh, who's running here on debut. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Arcturus Handicap for horses weighed 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. This is a no whip race. The first runner we are looking at is Banksy. The run we are looking at, this is the third start Banksy has had in this season. Started off with a third place effort in race number 7, then a fifth place effort in race number 27. The run we are looking at is from race number 35, where Banksy was in 9th spot, as you can see, towards the inside, and then weaved a passage and eventually just missed out on the board and finished on 5th of 14 runners. The winner here was Mark Willini, who won the race by a length. Banksy today the mount of Imran Chisti. Number 2, Fortune Warrior. Fortune Warrior has had a couple of starts in this season, both unplaced. In race number 12 finished on way back in the field, and in race number 16, the run we are looking at, Fortune Warrior was racing in 7th spot, was a little one-paced into the last 200 meters, does not really gain on them. Eventually finished on 7th of 9 runners. The winner here was Oh My Sweetheart. Number 3, Holy Gold. This was the debut run for Holy Gold. Holy Gold is by 10 star out of Astral Flare. Race number 42 went over 1100 meters, was in 10th spot and did not really accelerate, as you can see on the top of your screen in the gold jacket with the white, the blue V, and eventually finished on 10th of 10 runners. The winner here was Eagle's Flight. 4 is Cristaldo, win legend out of Abnoma. Cristaldo has had a pale season compared to the last start. 2 runs it had during the monsoon season, 2 wins there. Here 4 unplaced efforts, including the start we are looking at, which is from race number 41, where Cristaldo was racing in patches, eventually finished on 6th of 10 runners. The winner here was Trebia, who got the race by a nose. 5 is Lucretius. Lucretius skipped the entire monsoon season. This start we are looking at from the last start it had during the winter season in race number 77, where Lucretius was in 2nd spot, then came up down the center, took charge and looked good for a while, but then there was a late surge by sporting trainer. Lucretius did the next best thing, finished on 2nd, today the mount of R. Bhaiba. 6 is Palcha. Palcha has had 3 starts so far in this season. Race number 13 finished on 4th. Race number 19 finished on 3rd. The run we are looking at is from race number 33, where Palcha was racing in 8th spot. When came under pressure, Palcha dropped back a place, eventually finished on 9th of 12 runners. The winner here was Emperor Ashoka. 7 is Calcutta. Calcutta has had quite a few starts in this season, unplaced in all 5 starts. The run we are looking at is from race number 39, where Calcutta was a tad slow into stride, took the turn in 7th spot, then made up a placing and eventually finished on 2nd last of 7 runners. The winner here was Honey Cake, who practically made every post a winning one. 'We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Mounted Police Cup for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of internationally, to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we're looking at is Clever Hans, who's had 3 starts in this season. A placed effort in race number 23, where finished on 3rd after being a little slow into stride. The run we're looking at is from race number 28, where Clever Hans took the turn in 6th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Divine Thoughts. Clever Hans today the mount of Vinay Jaiswal. 2 is Ivanhoe. Ivanhoe had a start in race number 1 in the season on the monsoon track, where Ivanhoe was in second spot as they entered the home straight, then came under pressure, eventually finished on third. The winner here was Dragon's Gold Ivanhoe, the mount of Kirtish Bhagat today. Three, Zuma. Zuma had a couple of very eye-catching runs during the monsoon season, including a start where Zuma got the measure of Lady Sunshine in race number 12. Last start Zuma had was in race number 58, where Zuma took the turn in second spot despite the jockey's best effort. All Zuma could do was finish on second. The winner here was Wonderful, and Zuma today the mount of A Sandesh. Couple of runners. This is from race number 45, Fondness of Few, and 8 is Zuccardi. Fondness of Few was the favourite here after coming down from Mysore, was pretty wide of the track after being in 5th spot, stayed on in 5th. Zuccardi, who took the turn in 8th spot, stayed on in 8th, and the winner here was Pierre for sure. Zuccardi, the mount of Ankush, who claims 4 kilos off. Fondness of You, ridden by Nikhil Naidu. 5 is Gyama. Gyama has had one start in the season, that was in race number 23, where took the turn in 6th spot, did not really improve on that, and eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Australia. Gyama today the mount of R. Sheller. Number 6 is Loris. Loris has had 3 starts in the season. First start finished on 7th in race number 10, then in 11th in race number 20. The start we are looking at is from race number 38, where Loris took the turn in 5th spot when asked for an effort, dropped back, eventually finished on 7th of 9 runners. The winner here was Soup and Sandwich. Number 7, Felix. Felix had a decent monsoon season, including a win and a couple of placed efforts. The run we are looking at from the last start Felix had, this was in race number 66, where Felix was in 9th spot as they ended the home straight, then came up with a blistering run but just missed out, finished on 2nd to Nautica. Felix the mount of Imran Chisti today. 3 runners. This is from race number 46, where Prince Sabir, Swift Lady and Tender Heart. Prince Sabir took the turn in 8th spot, eventually finished on 6th. Swift Lady, who was in 6th spot, dropped back a place and eventually finished on 7th. And Tender Heart, who was racing in 9th spot, stayed on in 9th. The winner here was Fiery Red. That is Sea Eagle. Sea Eagle is a sparingly raced filly. She had a start in race number 20 in the current season, where Sea Eagle took the turn in 11th spot, then really came out flying down the center and weaved a passage, and eventually just missed out on the place money, but did finish on the board, finished on 4th. The winner here was Extravagant Star. 12 is Salam. Salam finished on 2nd. This is in race number 31. Chased the winner, Winter Agenda, all through the Calcutta straight, but finished on about a couple of lengths behind the winner. Today the mount of P.S. Kaviraj is Salam, who's by Win Legend of the Fight to Glory. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Police Martyrs Cup for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of internationality, to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. Couple of runners we are looking at first. This is a horse number 1, Italian Gold, and 9, Evgenia. This is from race number 36, where Italian Gold was definitely your eye catcher, was lying in 8th spot, then came down the center, slashed the field, and eventually won the race by 5 1/4 lengths. 9, Evgenia, who was racing in 14th spot after being a little slow into stride, eventually finished on 12th. Couple of runners again. 3, Super Sapphire. 7, Super Rakiga. Super Sapphire, who was racing in 8th spot, came up with a run down the center, eventually finished on an eye-catching 3rd, and Super Rakiga, who was racing in 6th spot, stayed on in 6th after taking the inside passage, which perhaps blocked for room for a few stride. Super Rakiga, the mount of Aya Shadasbar, and Super Sapphire, the mount of Suraj Noredu. 4 is Lucky 9. Lucky 9 had a start in race number 41, the one we are looking at, where Lucky 9 was in 7th spot, and then despite the jockey's best effort, all it could do was finish on 7th of 10 runners. Today the mount of P. Tejeshwar is Lucky 9. 5 is Oh My Sweetheart. Back-to-back wins for Oh My Sweetheart. One at the end of the monsoon season. That was a solitary start during the monsoon season, where in race number 54 she won over 1400 meters. This season she started with a bang in race number 16, where she was in 4th spot, then took charge into the last 200 meters and never looked back. Won the race by 3.5 lengths, beating Champagne Supernova and second amount of A Sandesh. 6 is Aretha. Aretha clocked a win in the monsoon season in race number 34, where she went over 1800 meters, and the start we are looking at is from the last start she had in the monsoon track in race number 59. Was in 2nd spot, was racing prominently, but when it came under pressure did not really have anything in the tank. Eventually finished on a tame 3rd. The winner was War Trail. 8 is Veneno, who skipped the monsoon season, and the start is from race number 22, where Veneno was racing in 8th spot, and when asked for an effort, improved places, eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was Marcolini. 10 is Monarchy. Monarchy has had 4 starts in this season. Best start was definitely the last start Monarchy had after being unplaced in first 3 starts. This was in race number 42, where Monarchy was racing in 7th spot, then came up with a late dash and got into the place money, finished on 3rd behind Eagle's Flight. We move on to the 5th and feature race of the day, the Police Commissioner's Cup for horses rated 61 to 86, rated 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. We got 4 but very classy runners, starting with Dundee Satyagraha. Dundee Satyagraha has had 4 starts in the season so far, finished on 4th in race number 1, finished on 4th again in race number 11, then a 5th place effort in race number 24 after being a little slowly out of the gates. The same can be said about race number 28, where Dundee Satyagraha was slow into stride, made some late gains, eventually finished on 2nd last of 7 runners. The winner here was Divine Thoughts. 2 Dragon's Gold. Dragon's Gold has been winning races off and on, and the start Dragon's Gold had was in the beginning of the season in race number 1. That was on the monsoon track, where Dragon's Gold made every post a winning one. Last start was in race number 23, where Dragon's Gold went over 1400 meters, was in the lead, but into the last 250 meters surrendered the lead and finished on a tame 5th. The winner here was Australia. 3 is Dubai Princess. Dubai Princess is definitely an outstanding runner in this field. Dubai Princess couple of wins in race number 61 on the monsoon track. Then in this season in race number 10, she won over 1400 meters in the Guineas. She was the favorite, was looking good for a while until Trahila came up with a blistering run, and Dubai Princess did the next best thing. She finished on 2nd, the mount of A Sandesh. 4 is Raffaello. Raffaello has had 4 starts during the monsoon season, where finished on 2nd cup 3 times. The start is from the current season. This was in race number 31, where Raffaello was in 8th spot, made some late gains, eventually just missed out the board and finished on 5th. The winner here was Winter Agenda. Raffaello, the mount of PS Kaviraj. So that's the lineup for the Police Commissioner's Cup, the feature of the day. Moving on to the sixth race of the afternoon, the Sniper Handicap Division 1 for horses rate 21 to 46, rate 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First round, we're looking at Fresh Hope. Fresh Hope started the season with a win in race number 14, where Fresh Hope beat UV. Couple of starts after that in race number 21, Fresh Hope was again the favorite but finished on third. Race number 46, the one we are looking at, Fresh Hope was in third spot, was racing prominently until the last 250 meters, where Fresh Hope was not looking fresh, finished on fifth of 9 runners. The winner was Fiery Red. 3 runners, this is from race number 36, NRI Fantasy. We had Kindred Spirit, and 9 was Stitch in Time. NRI Fantasy's third start of the season, and this start was racing in 12th spot, then finished on 7th. 3 Kindred Spirit, who's also had 4 starts in fact, and they were here. Kindred Spirit eventually being in front, but dropped back and finished on second last. 9 was Stitch in Time. Stitch in Time, this was the second start for Stitch in Time, earlier finished on 4th. Over here, Stitch in Time finished on 5th. Four was King Roger. King Roger, the start is from the opening day in race number 6, which was run on the monsoon track. King Roger, after racing in second spot for most while, finished on an eye-catching second. And King Roger, the mount of Kritish Bhagat again today. Five is Good Deeds. Rodrigo Connor, out of remembrance of you, came down from southern India, definitely needed this run. This was in race number 16, where Good Deeds was racing in third spot, then came up with the run and eventually finished on third. The winner was Oh My Sweetheart, who had form and fitness. Good Deeds, the mount of Suraj Naidu again today. Six is UV. UV has had 4 starts in this season. Placed effort in race number 14, which was the penultimate start for UV. The run we are looking at from the last start UV had was an 8th spot. Made some late gains but finished on 6th in a clustered finish. The winner was Trebia. Number 7 is Zarafat. The start is from the monsoon season, which was the second start Zarafat had after coming down from Western India. Earlier start finished on 8th, and race number 18 over here, Zarafat was racing in 6th spot, then came up with a run down the center and eventually finished on 4th. Just missed out on the place money. The winner here was Tender Heart. Number 8 is Memphis. Couple of starts for Memphis after coming down from Western India, both unplaced. This was in race number 21, where Memphis finished on 5th. The run we are looking at is from race number 35, where Memphis was racing prominently under the last 200 meters, but there was a cavalry charge and Memphis eventually finished on 8th of 14 runners. The winner here was Marcolini. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, the Sniper Handicap Division 2 for horses rate 21 to 46, rate 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First up, we got 2 runners, Marcolini, and number 5 is Line Up and Collect. Marcolini, back-to-back wins for Marcolini in race number 22, won by beating Amalfitana. Last start, Marcolini took the turn in 4th spot, then took charge into the last 200 meters and never looked back. And Line Up and Collect was a winner in an earlier start in race number 13, and over here, Line Up and Collect finished on 4th. We got Vinelia, Rocketman, Amalfitana. They all ran in race number 36. Rocketman was racing in 11th spot when came under pressure, dropped back and finished on last. Vinelia was racing in 4th spot, looked good for a while, eventually finished on 2nd, and it was to be noted that Vinelia did start a little slowly out of the gates. 6 was Amalfitana. Amalfitana has already had 3 starts. Earlier start in race number 22, finished on 2nd. Over here, Amalfitana finished on 4th. The winner was Italian Gold. Four is Flamingo Road. Couple of starts earlier than this one, where Flamingo Road finished on second each time. Over here, Flamingo Road, this was in race number 42, was racing in third spot when came under pressure, as you can see on the center of your screen in the navy blue and grey stars. Flamingo Road eventually dropped back and finished on fifth. The winner was Eagle's Flight. Number 7 is Sporting Trainer. Sporting Trainer has had 4 starts in the season. Last start was in race number 39, the one we are looking at, where Sporting Trainer took the turn in 4th spot, then was asked by the jockey to go and get the runaway leader, but Sporting Trainer was taking his time. By the time the winner was already off and gone. Finished on 2nd. Today the mount of Vinay Jaswal is Sporting Trainer. Absolute Lightning, earlier known as Lightning Charlie, has had 3 starts. Started the season with a win that was on the monsoon track, where won in race number 2. Then a 4th place effort in race number 14, and finally in race number 22, the one we are looking at, Absolute Lightning took the turn in 4th spot, then dropped back and finished on 7th. Finally, we got number 9, Soul Music, who's had a couple of starts in the season. Earlier start in race number 14, finished on an eye-catching 3rd. Over here, Soul Music was in 6th spot, then did not really build on that. In fact, if anything, dropped back and eventually finished on 10th of 12 runners. The winner here was Emperor Ashoka. Soul Music, the mount of Arul J. So that's the lineup for the day, ladies and gentlemen. See you at the races and best of luck.